This is Rob Z Radio.
What's up, everybody? Zebras, thanks for tuning in. Welcome. And let's talk about those 80,000 thoughts a day, okay? We have about 80,000 thoughts flying through our head per day. Some people say 60, some say 70, some say 80. Maybe some of us have more or less thoughts than others, I don't know. But that blew my mind, first of all. That's a lot of thoughts. And then you go to the next piece of the puzzle, which is that somewhere over 90% of those thoughts are old, repeating, day-by-day thoughts that we relive over and over and over and over again. It's one of the big things in my life that I've been focusing on for the past year. How do I replace those thoughts? How am I even aware of those thoughts? Now, obviously, everybody who's watching or listening to this, we all have thoughts that we're aware of, things that we think, and we'll think, that's a good thought, or, man, that's a bad thought. Why did I think that? Those are good thoughts to recognize and to notice and to pay attention to. But there's also all kinds of thoughts that we have that are just innate, that just happen because they're in our subconscious mind and we don't even notice them. So, like, for an example for me is when I'm in traffic and I'm behind somebody who's going 5 miles an hour slower than I am, whether or not I'm over the speed limit or whatever, I'm like, I got to get around this person. They can't be in front of me. I got to have my own lane. So that, like, what if I have to go really fast all of a sudden? It's a strange thing to think on a regular basis, but I think it on a regular basis every day. I just thought it today 3 or 4 times while driving around in traffic. To be aware of that kind of stuff, these are the ones that are so habitual that we don't even notice that we do them anymore, and we do them all day long. Those are the ones to really be aware of, because most of them, at least in my case, whenever I notice these ones that are subconscious, whenever I notice them, they're usually not good. They're more unnecessary, negative, stress-inducing, panic-inducing, whatever negative-inducing kind of thoughts, reactions. Not all thoughts, just reactions. But, you know, a reaction is thought and emotion-based, but you get the idea. That if we're going to start to take new paths and a new course in our life, we must be aware of what we're thinking. And another huge one for me is imagining what other people think and then using that as law, right? So I do this all the time where I'll imagine this is what this person is thinking right now. I can tell by the way they said something to me. I can tell by the way that they acted towards me. I can tell by the way they're acting today in general. They're thinking this, and I don't know that. Even if you are right, how are you ever going to know, and who cares? So that's a big one that I'm getting myself understanding. I'm trying to process that one on a regular basis. Is, listen, I don't know what other people are thinking. I don't know why they're acting the way they're acting, and they may not even be acting a certain way. I may be perceiving or judging them because of the way that I'm feeling on the inside. So many puzzle pieces to this thing. If you don't take the time to start thinking about it and start learning about it, you're going to be in a tangled web for the rest of your life, which I have been. I could call much of my inner life turbulent for most of my life because I was always trying to worry about other people, make sure they're doing the thing I need them to do, and make sure life is going according to the way I feel like it should be going, which is an unrealistic thing because I wasn't putting the steps in place to make my life a really happy place. So why would I expect that to be the outcome? If you don't plant the right seed, you're not going to get the right fruit or vegetable. They're all intertwined. They're all together. So I'm telling myself all of this information as I'm talking to you about it, and it's a constant daily reminder. If you are listening or watching this and you work for a business, I've been running my own business now for 2.5 years. I've had so much personal growth in those 2.5 years, unbelievable amount of personal growth. I'm not telling you right now that to have incredible growth, you have to run your own business or whatever. I just know what you have to do is start becoming aware of your day-to-day habits, because usually when you're in the 9-to-5 world, those day-to-day habits it's mostly you just getting through. I just want to get work done. I want to be out of work. I want to go home. And now I'm home. Okay, what am I going to do while I'm home? Is it the family? Is it personal stuff? Is it stuff that needs done? There's such a long list of things that might need done. Then it's, I got to go to bed. Now I'm worrying about the next day of work. And then the weekend's coming up. Oh, I can't wait for that weekend. It's this cycle of, listen, I'm not saying good or bad about the 9-to-5 work week. For some people, it is the greatest thing in the whole world, and they like that structure, and I totally understand. It's a system that you can follow. But it creates patterns and habits due to stress, lack of time, priorities, things that you have to do for other people. There's a personality test called DISC. I'm a high I in DISC, like 98, 99%, which means I'm very individualistic, which means I like to do my own thing. The problem was always living by somebody else's schedule and pattern through the 9-to-5 workplace and other, I guess, programs that are running in my brain. I was always wanted to be individualistic, but was running off of somebody else's paradigm. So that caused a lot of turmoil inside of me because I didn't know how to manage myself, manage my life, manage my time, manage my emotions, manage my thoughts, manage my relationships. Bad at personal, professional time management. Bad at all of it. And I think that the last 2 years when I was leaving my 9-to-5 job, that I was starting to recognize some of that. Now that was back 5 years ago. I'd say just over the past 6 months, I've really been starting to pick up on these things. I'd say just in the past month, I've really been picking up on these things, and they're starting to become more clear because I'm paying more attention to them. Those 80,000 thoughts, and I'm going to wrap this up for you right now because I'm not going to go rambling on forever. I wanted to give you something quick, hopefully something actionable that you can put into your life. These 80,000 thoughts, you've got to become aware of them because they're not all good. You might be a super happy person. I'm super happy for you, and I'm really happy for you. I was going to say I envy you. I don't envy you. I'm really happy for you that you are happy. But a lot of us on the inside, I always portrayed myself as very happy and fun-loving on the outside to everybody else. But if you were in here or if you lived with me, you'd see a different side of me. And that was something that I always wanted to change. And now I'm in that process of changing it. So I like to share it. Sharing the story helps to make the whole experience easier and better and more fun and more helpful. The more you can help, the better you're going to heal and the faster you're going to heal. Okay, so the practice would be for you on a daily basis, pick out a thought. Just set a time in your phone. And I don't do this for myself, but I'm trying to think of an easy way for you to start this. And I might start this just from talking to you about it. Set a time in your phone for 1 minute, 2 minutes, 5 minutes, however much time you want to throw into it, 30 seconds. And just notice the thoughts that happen in that space of time. This could be the beginning of a meditation if you want to start a meditative practice, open eye or closed-eyed meditation. It could be a way of living your life and noticing, what am I thinking right now? What am I pondering? Why am I acting the way that I'm acting? What's going on inside of my brain? Because we run off of a program that's been in our brain for a long time, so it's just a system that runs. But why not take a look at that system and make sure it's good? You wouldn't want a bad system running at your bank that's losing you money, and nobody ever checks on that system and fixes it. There's a virus in that system. Nobody ever caught it. It's been stealing thousands of dollars from you every year, Something along those lines. Like, you want to be aware of these things. So to help yourself become aware, put down, I'll say if you've never done anything like this, put down a 1 minute time frame in your phone, whether morning, afternoon, at night, whenever you got a free minute, okay? A free minute. Nobody's going to bother you. Minutes, start with that. That's simple. I'm all about the keep it stupid simple method. Keep it simple, man. And when in that minute, I want you to just notice the thoughts that are coming in. Are they good or are they positive or are they negative? Okay? And just jot them down. Jot down a couple thoughts. We're going to have a lot of thoughts in those minutes. There's going to be a lot of thoughts flying through in that 1 minute session. Write a couple of them down, and then how could you invert them, flip them, change them? Like, what would be the inverse reaction to that? So for me, driving in the car, if I was giving myself that 1 minute in the car and that person's going 5 miles an hour slower, and I'm like, I'm going to get around them and I'm going to blow past them because they're slowing my life down. Okay, I recognize that thought. What would be the inverse of that? I know for a fact from years of driving that getting in front of that person and speeding up is only going to get me somewhere maybe 5 to 30 seconds faster than I normally would. And plus, what am I really rushing for anyways? Take a moment to take a breather and take it easy and enjoy life and use it as a practice in patience. So that would be my suggestion would be, Rob, just sit behind this car and ride it out for a minute. If they're going exceptionally slow, like 20 and a 40 or something, then go around them. If they're just going the speed limit and you're just upset because you feel like you should be going faster than they are, sit behind them and change who you are, what you're all about, what your priorities are, and diminish these stress reactions that you're having to life at all times, because it is totally unnecessary. That'd be an example from me. Find an example for you. Take a minute, recognize a thought that you don't necessarily like, but you have all the time, and then flip it, invert it, change it. How could you make it better? Put that into practice and let me know how you do. Please, I'd love to hear from you. If you listen, please leave a review, subscribe, leave a rating. I would love that. That would be amazing. Tell people about the podcast or something you learned on here. Tell me about somebody that you really enjoy, that you love learning from, because I like to check out other people too and find out what they're doing. I am not the end-all, be-all in this. All I'm saying is that if you find value in what I'm talking about on this podcast, I've learned it from somebody else who's smarter than me. This is all stuff that I'm just passing along. I'm not creating any of this. I'm just passing it along, hopefully to keep that reciprocity moving forward and giving people value, because I find this valuable and I learn from doing this. I help to teach myself how to teach from doing this. So how about you take this and pass that information on? If you take this actionable step and put it into your life and practice, tell me what the thought was. How did you flip it? And how are you going to do that daily? Do you have it scheduled in your phone? Are you doing something like that? Send me a message on any social media platform. All my platforms are at the top of my website at others.Your, or send a message on the podcast, whatever you decide to do. I love talking to you, zebras. Thanks for watching, and I'll talk to you next time.
This is Rob Z Radio.